Welcome, everyone. Dr. Rick Marks here. And it is so good to be with you again. And listen, I want to talk about something that's very fundamental to my life, how I learned to live my life as an adult, and also very fundamental to the Relate Well program and process. I learned this in 1994 when I was a professor at a graduate school and in Virginia, and when I was teaching marriage family therapy. And this one principle actually taught me how to live the best life ever, but more importantly, how to have the best marriage ever. And so I call this the power of us. The power of us. You know, Western culture in our relationships, we tend to live for ourselves. And if I'm in this marriage, I'm in this relationship, and I'm in this marriage, as long as my needs are being met my way, and I am happy. Yet, when you live for yourself, you're not living for the relationship. And so I want to introduce you to something, and I want you to stay with me. And my hope is that maybe I will inspire you to live for us and understand the power of living for us. You see, the most important part of any marriage is not the husband, it's not the wife. It's the third part of the marriage. And when the third part wins, you both win. When the third part loses, you both will lose. You see, the third part of the marriage is something bigger than both of you. What is this third part of the marriage? It's us. You see, every decision you make gives to you or it gives to us. But what is us? What is it? Us isn't me and my wife's Luella. It isn't Luella. Us is the synergy that exists between her and I. It's the relationship itself. And in every decision that a person makes in their marriage gives to themselves or it gives to us. If the bulk of your decisions are based on what's best for you, then us will die off. If the decisions are based on what's best for us, you both will thrive because us thrives. When us thrive, you both thrive as an individual. But here's the key. You both have to decide that you value us more than yourself. Western culture goes against that. It's all about me, right? Hyper individualism. But the problem is when you live for yourself, you're not going to live for us. You won't have the marriage that you want. And what I learned a long time ago is live for us. Now, what is us? It's the synergy that exists between her and I. It's the relationship itself. But how would you know if you had us in the marriage? I mean, how would you know if us was in your house? I asked that question a long time ago, and I found the answer. It transformed me. And what I also found out was the answer was simple. It was really simple. How do you know when us is in the house? You feel it. You feel it. You see, when us is in the house, you're going to feel the love. You're going to feel the warmth. You're going to feel the tenderness. You're going to feel the connection. I love it when us is in the house, and I hate it when it's not. I always tell people, you want 3 people in your bedroom every night, if you will. You want you, your spouse, and us. Us. When us is in the room at night, you sleep well. You cuddle, you touch. And just as much as you know that us is in the house because you feel its presence, you also will know when it's not in the house because you will feel its absence. When us is not in the house, you'll feel the coldness, you'll feel the resentment, you'll feel the bitterness, you'll feel the angst, you'll feel the tension, you'll feel the silence. And every decision you make gives you or gives to us. There is no other option. And if you want to live for you, feel free, but you won't feel us around. Why? Because what you're really saying is, I don't value me, I value us. And if you want to value us, feel free, but you don't kill. If you want to value you, feel free, but you're going to kill the usness off and you'll feel its absence right away. Oh, and by the way, guess what? Your children know when us is in the house. Because when us in the house, your kids will feel its presence and you'll also feel its absence. Because everybody knows when us is in the house. See, I grew up in a home where there wasn't a lot of us. You never felt it. What you actually felt was tension, fear, hurt, pain. I grew up that way. I don't want to live that way as an adult. I want to live beyond that. I want to live bigger than that. I want to live in a way where us wins. I want my kids to win. And when us wins, your children do win. Now, if you want to live for us, you're going to have to move to one word as a way of being. You're going to have to move to one word as a way of being. What's that one word? Humility. You're going to have to move to humility. Humility is a very powerful way to live life. To live a life of humility is not weak. It takes maturity. But I don't humble myself to Luella. I humble myself to us. Here's why. It takes two to make an us, one to kill it. Did you get that? Two to make it, one to kill it. I can live for us and Luella not. We're not going to have it. She can live for us and I don't. We're not going to have it and you won't feel it. But when both of you move to humility and value us more than yourselves, you will feel it. I love it when us is in the house and I hate it when it's not. I hate the cold and the silence. When us is not in the bedroom at night, it kind of looks like this. Get your feet off me. You sleep back to back. I didn't know that my good old fat body could sleep on that much mattress, back to back. Why would you want to live that way? That don't make sense. I grew up that way. I don't want to live that way as an adult. Make sense? And so I've learned to move to humility and value us. Because here's the thing. When I give to us, I'm actually giving to me. Why? It takes two to make an us, one to kill it. So when I choose to humble myself for the sake of us, I'm in control. I have the power. I'm not doing it because I have to, or where I want to do it to shut her up. That's called placating, appeasing. That just builds more resentment down the road. I do it because I want us in the house. And I love it when us in the house, and I hate it when it's not. And I have learned to value us more than me. Now, that goes against Western culture, because Western culture says, well, if you live for us, then what's going to happen to you? Well, that's a fair question, but here's the problem with that. If you're saying that I have to live, that living for us means I lose me, that's the great mystery of living for us. Here's why. The stronger us becomes, the more your individuality increases. In other words, in the context of us, I become more Rick. In the context of us, Luella emerges more as her. Here's why. When us is strong, that means the security in the relationship is strong. You both feel it. You both feel the connection, you feel the bond. All right. And when we feel the connection, we feel that we're in us, you're secure. Guys, you'll probably end up fishing more, probably golfing more. Those things that you like to do emerge and you get to grow more being you. Why? Because us would want you to be the best version of you. Here's why. In every us, think of the word U-S. There's that first letter called you. In every yes, there's a you. Do you understand that the healthier and more mature that you are, us can be? Why would I not want Luella to be the best version of herself? I want her to be not what I want her to be. I want her to be what she's meant to be, what she's destined to be, who God made her to be, right? Why? Because when she's the best version of her, us can thrive. That's the great mystery of us, is the stronger us becomes, the more you become you. I love that idea. Luella has emerged more as an individual, the stronger us got, and so did I. You see, I love living for us. I hate it not living for us. And I've decided that I'm going to live for us. Now, this word love, for a minute, I want to take a detour. This word love, it's misused a lot in Western culture. All right, example. I love my wife. Excuse me. I love my wife. I love my children. I love the U.S. military. I'm a 12-year Navy veteran. And I love mint chocolate chip ice cream. I love them all. But you hear the misuse of the word love in that, don't you? What if I change the word love to this word? What difference would it make in how you treated your partner? Let's change it to the word value. I value my wife and I value my children. I do not value the U.S. military ever near as much. And to be honest, I don't value mint chocolate chip ice cream at all. I just love it. Now, if I treated my wife on a regular basis in a way that devalues her, Could she then not argue that I don't what? Love her? She could. Because love never devalues the object of love, ever. It doesn't devalue the object of love. But if you say you love someone and you treat them in a way that devalues them, they can argue that you don't love them. And I would tell you, you shouldn't be surprised if they walk out of your life one day. Why? Why wouldn't they? You convince them that you don't value me or us. You value you. In other words, here's what I learned. Everything in life is about value. I have to value us more than me. And when I do, I will grow stronger and more healthy in the context of us. That's the great mystery of having a great usness marriage. Because when us wins, you both win. When us loses, you both lose. And I grew up in a home where there was no us. I'm not living that way as an adult. So I've decided that, you know what? Live for us. I like it when I have it, and I hate it when it's not there. It takes two to make it, one to kill it. And here's the thing. When us wins, you both win. When us wins, you both win. And here's a real benefit. When us wins, your kids win. They thrive in the context of a healthy, strong usness marriage. So every decision you make gives you or gives us. There is no other option. It's just the way life is. Now, let's explore something more about this idea of usness. The usness in your marriage is different than you are as an individual. The usness in your marriage would do things that you would not do. Example, I, Rick Marks, I don't go to malls. You won't see me in a mall ever because I don't like malls. I think malls are a waste of time. So you will never see me in a mall. Got it? If you do see me in a mall, it's because I have to go to the mall. And if I have to go to the mall, I will figure out where in the mall that store is. Park near that entrance, go into that entrance, go to that store, get what I want, and I get out of the mall. You get that? I, Rick Marks, don't go to malls. I don't like the beach. I live in Florida. My wife loves the beach. I don't like the beach. You know, I told her a long time ago, jokingly, I said, you misunderstand the beach. The beach isn't really meant to go sit on. The beach is a landing platform for the United States Marine Corps to evade something. It's not to sit on for 8 hours a day. I don't like the beach. All right. My wife would never visit a battlefield. Now, I'm a 12-year Navy vet, and I love history. You can see behind me, I got historical pictures from the 1800s up there. All right. I love military history. You can read the books, visit battlefields. Llewellyn would never, ever, ever go to a battlefield. We're different that way. I don't like them all. But guess what? Us likes them all. That's right. Us likes them all. You see, when I go to the mall, I go there to get out. But when us is at the mall, that's not me. That's us. Because when us is at the mall, man, we're walking, we're talking, we're holding hands and dreaming. You see, I don't like the mall, but us likes the mall. Us stay at the mall for hours. But I would not. Us likes the beach, but I don't like the beach. And here's the other thing. Us will go to a battlefield, but Llewellyn would not. You get the idea? Us would do things that you wouldn't do. Why? Because I'm not doing it for me or her. I'm doing it for us. And when you do it for us, there's no negative energy. There's no angst. There's no tension. There's not a sense I've been here for 20 minutes. Can I go? All that goes away. Why? Because you decided that you valued us and you would do that for us. Practical example. Quite a few years ago, I was asked to be a speaker on a cruise out of Miami for a group. And so it was a wonderful time. They actually paid for my wife to go. So on one of those mornings, Llewellyn said, hey, listen, after you speak this morning, the cruise ship is staying at their island all day down there in the Caribbean. Why don't we go and spend the day on the beach? In that moment, I can decide for me, no. Or I can decide for us. And I did. And I said, I can do that for us. And so we had a good time. We got ready. After I spoke, we went over the island and hung out there. And there was no tension. About 4.5 hours into this, my wife, who loves the beach, she's just laying there soaking up sun. I'm sitting next to her. And all of a sudden I start going like this. Just kind of rubbed my neck and had a t-shirt on. I looked over her and she's laying there with a towel over her head. And I said, hey, are you awake? And her go, yeah. I said, us is done at the beach. Rick's back. And she sat up and she goes, what does Rick want to do? I go, us can't do the beach anymore. I just can't. But I want to go on the boat and just watch a movie and get off the sand and all that kind of stuff. She says, would you like me to go with you? I said, if that's what you want to do, that's okay. If you want to do it for us, but I'm not asking you have to do that. That makes sense. I could do it for a while for us, but at some point, Rick was back. It makes sense. Many years ago, I was given a present by a bunch of friends of mine. It was 3 nights and 4 days in a bed and breakfast in downtown Gettysburg. Now, for someone like me, that's a really paradise gift, right? To be in a historical place where it was a huge battle, that's a paradise gift. But the gift was better than that because the tickets were during Civil War Heritage Week. Now, if anybody knows anything about military history and Civil War history in terms of the national parks, that's when that whole town is turned back into that area. 30,000 reenactors show up. It's during the week of the battle, July 1st through the 4th. So every year in Gettysburg, this happens. I got tickets to go. I was given 3 nights, 4 days in a bed and breakfast. And that big field where all the reenactment takes place, guess what? They gave me tickets to sit in those bleachers in the front. I didn't have to sit in the back or stand up back there. I got to sit out in the front on bleachers in that hot sun every day watching all those reenactments take place. Cavalry charges, mortar fire charges, cannon. It was a wonderful gift. And guess what? They are tickets for 2. I know what you're thinking. You understand what happened. Us decided my brother Don went. That's right. Us decided my brother Don went. Why? Because us knew she had no business being there at that event. Here's my point. Us may not always do things together, but us is always in agreement. And I've learned, don't live my life in a way that undermines us. I need to value us more than me. And I promise you, when you learn to live for us, all your relationships will thrive. Here's why. Every relationship has an us to it. You and I will have an us. Me and my kids have an us. Me and my brother have an us. Me and my mom have an us. Luelle and I have an us. And a work team has an us as well. Every relationship has an us. From my worldview, us has the highest meaning in the marital bond, but every relationship has a sense of us to it. And you get to decide how you want to live your life. Live for you, it will be. Live for us, it will be. Don't live for us, it won't be. You get the idea. And everything you do allows you to live for us or live for you. And I have just learned I'd rather live a life of humility giving to us because I love the joy, I love the peace, I love the connection. You can feel it. And I hate it when it's not there. And if I sense that us is not in the room, you know what I do? I'll walk up and go, do you feel on us? And she goes, nope. I go, okay. Let's sit down and talk about what's going on. And this is where in Relate Well, we actually teach people the skills and tools to navigate conflict so you can protect your usness. That's the real key of healthy marriage, is to deal with conflict in a relationship while protecting us at the same time. That takes maturity. We teach the skills and tools. We have the skills and tools how to do that. I raise my kids on those things. Because when us wins, you both win. When us loses, you both will lose. You have to decide every single day, every moment, who do you want to live for? You want to live for you? It's okay. But when your relationships suffer, please don't complain. I always say I'm a psychologist and counselor. I find it very disingenuous when one person in a marriage lives for themselves over and over and over and lives in such a way that devalues their partner. And then the partner decides, I'm out of here, I'm divorcing you. And the devaluing partner is bothered by that. I go, why are you bothered by that? They go, well, they're leaving me. I go, I know. Why are you bothered by that? Well, they're leaving me. I said, no, I got that. Why are you bothered by that, though? They go, Dr. Marks, they're leaving me. And I would say, but that doesn't make sense to me. You lived in such a way that you only care for you. They figured out you don't value them or us. You value yourself. Or as I had to say to some man here not too long ago, who actually did this for 20 something years in his marriage to his wife. And she finally left him or was leaving him, divorcing him. And he goes, she's divorcing me. And I said, not really. He goes, yes, she is. I go, well, she is in the legal sense. But in reality, she's not divorcing you. He goes, what is she doing? I go, she's releasing you to your selfishness. She's figured out you don't care about us. You care about you. So she's letting you be you now. I think some people earn their divorce because of the way they treated their partner. If you choose to live for us, you'll never go there. When us wins, you both win. We thrive when us thrives. And here's the key. When us is strong, you as an individual are strong. You're strong as a person because you've learned to live beyond yourself in humility. Prideful people are actually immature people. Get defensive all the time. Humble people are actually mature people. It takes emotional maturity to live a life of humility. What difference would it make if you chose to start living for us? What do you think would be different with you? What would be different in your relationship? What would be different in your home? What difference would that make as it relates to your children? Live for us, folks. You want to live powerfully? Live for us. Because there's power in living for us. The security, the comfort, the absence of fear, all exists when us is strong. And it's a far better way to live life. So in a small way, maybe I hope I've challenged you to live a life, not for oneself, but if you want to live for yourself, choose to live for us. You'll live a lot better. Thanks. This is Dr. Rick.